To convey the importance of different disciplines appreciating the natural world to progress our society, our group chose to analyze the biomimicry between a bird and a plane through transcendental concepts. The transcendental poem we chose to analyze and compare is A Bird Came Down the Walk by Emily Dickinson. To summarize, the poem begins with the persona describing a bird in its natural habitat. The speaker describes the bird eating and drinking water from nature's aid and the kindness nature has towards others through the imagery of the bird letting the beetle pass. Towards the end, the bird is characterized as being frightened of its surroundings. The human then starts to be more comfortable with their presence being known and tries to give the bird food, in which the bird declines and heads home. Finally, the last stanza describes a visual of the beauty of nature over the ocean. A literary technique that showed up in lines 1, 2, 8, 10, 11, 16, and 18 are caesures. Multiple caesures are found throughout the poem. This implies the many pauses the persona has taken while observing the bird, displaying how the persona is carefully finding the words to describe nature's life. The second literary technique we found is euphony in line 19, or butterflies off the banks of noon. The euphony employed in this line exhibits how highly the persona views the bird. By using euphony to make this line sound elegant, it furthers the idea of the high respect the persona regards the bird too. The third literary technique is visual imagery, depicted in the 20th line. Leaps, splashes as they swim. The visual imagery included in this line provides a peaceful representation of the bird. The final literary technique we notice is alliteration in the 18th line. 2 silver for a seam. The alliteration of the letter S in line 18 adds to the soft, peaceful tone. The letter S gives off a quiet, serene sound that reinforces the idea of the bird being in a calm state.
Next, we will be discussing the discovery of air flight done by the Wright brothers, whereas it all started by simple birdwatching. Now we have background information covering the invention of the Wright brothers' airplane. In 1899, the brothers began to design what an airplane would look like. In 1903, the brothers invented the first flying machine. Finally, in 1945, the first commercial aviation was available for people to ride. As the Wright brothers observed birds in flight, they believed that they could use the technique of the birds curving their wings to obtain control by changing the shape of a portion of the plane's wings. After years of planning, they successfully invented the first flying device. There are 4 forces for an airplane to fly: drag, a friction force acting opposite of motion; thrust, a force provided by the engine acting along the motion; weight acts vertically down; and lift, a force generated by the motion of the wings through the air and acts perpendicularly to the motion of the airplane. For the action of flight regarding an airplane ascending at a constant rate, there are 3 concepts. The lift must be equal to the weight since the airplane isn't accelerating along the y-axis. The thrust must be equal to the drag, and once the airplane descends or climbs, the balance of the forces shifts. Comparing the structure of an airplane and the anatomy of a bird's wing, the Wright brothers learned self-control is needed of the wings and it is necessary for flight. In A Bird Came Down the Walk, the bird's soft feathers allowed the bird to roll back itself home gently, and the unrolling of the feathers to maintain control showed the essence of self-control, for which humans cannot control. The poem articulates the transcendental concept of nature being the best teacher. The persona's devout observations of the bird going through its daily life and their fascination of nature in general expresses the significant knowledge and concepts that can be learned through nature's existence. By the observation and knowledge obtained through watching birds in nature, the Wright brothers optimized the natural anatomy of birds to design the architectural build of planes. Ultimately, by using nature in its entirety, humans can implement concepts to evolve and advance society's current state.